All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Our Kind of Homesteading. We're your hosts, Sherry
and Shauna.
And today, we got a question from our great friend, Adam. Hello, Adam.
Hello.
Calling you out again. Hopefully not driving again. So he was suggesting that we just, because he was asking about how we got started with homesteading and where it all came from. Were our parents homesteaders? So, we haven't even ever said anything about that or how we even began this whole journey of homesteading. It seems like we've been doing it forever. So, we're going to do that today.
Yeah. So thank you again, Adam, for your email. You are hilarious, and I really wish you lived closer because I want to be best friends.
And have tea with you every day.
Yeah. We didn't know him beyond, him just writing in and being one of our listeners. So It's kind of cool to hear from him over and over again because
ever supportive.
He is
very sweet.
And he's so funny. I wish we could have him on our show.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, I said it again, our show.
It is a show. Pretentious. Damn it.
Okay. So anyways, we don't have Honest here. He's usually here producing. And he's not here today. So we have to do it all on our own, and it's hard.
Well, we used to do it all on our own.
I know, but then we added the video element, and then everything got confusing. And so I had to take notes and figure out what I was doing, hooking up everything.
You did it though.
I did it, and the lighting and stuff. And he was like, "Are you sure you don't want me just to take the day off work?" I'm like, "You don't have to take the day off work. We can do it."
He's like, "It's worth it."
Anyways.
Yeah.
So Sherry and I, we moved up to the property that Sherry currently lives on. Obviously with our parents because we were young. I think I was around.
So I'm going to say you were 12
11 or 12.
I was 13 or
around
12.
that age, right? So before that, we weren't homesteaders. We didn't really do anything homestead related. But
so we weren't homesteaders as far as we never had land up until that point. Mm-hmm. We always lived in the suburbs. But my parents have always had an affinity for animals. They both love animals. I mean, we had a potbelly pig in the house way back in Vacaville.
That's a good
in the
point.
little suburb.
We were never your typical
rabbits.
family.
We were
I
not
guess.
your typical family. We just have a cat and a dog. No, we had. There was a
menagerie.
There was a lot going on usually.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, and so I think we were always kind of leaning towards that. We just never had the possibility because we didn't have land up until we moved on the property that we have now.
Yeah, we were all more of the suburban life, and my dad was a great gardener though.
Yes,
he was phenomenal. And back when we used to live in a little town called Fairfield, and he was a police officer at the time, and he would tend to this garden. And I know I was tiny. I was 3. But I remember walking through this garden and it being...
It felt huge.
Well, it was a jungle, and the watermelons were as big as me, and you could hear some monkeys in the background, it was just a crazy...
Dad, give me the monkey.
It was such a vivid memory of walking through the garden beds and it just being so huge and over me, and I felt it was so cool. I just I loved it.
And he had such a... I know. So sweet. Everything just seems so just everything, 10 times its normal size.
I wish I had a picture of it, honestly. I don't think we have any pictures of Dad's garden, but he was...
Oddly enough, I know why. Mom had to have snapped a few.
And he was amazing at gardening. And it's... I wish he would do it now because he was so good. I always ask him for tips, and he's like, "Oh, I don't remember anything." I'm like, "Yes, you do."
I declare it.
So, and then our mom, she grew up, they didn't have a lot of money and stuff. And so anything that they could use, they would, if that makes sense. So they were kind of always had that, if you want to say homestead mentality, because they had to make a lot of their own stuff. And it was just how she was raised.
Well, and interestingly enough, they did things they had meat rabbits when she was growing up, for example.
Yeah.
And that is a very homesteady thing, right? Meat rabbits. And they would trick her into eating the meat rabbits by telling her it was just chicken they bought at the store.
Rude.
And so she would eat her own rabbits, which she happened to be very fond of. So now she's obviously has slight trauma.
Traumatized.
Wonder why you went vegetarian.
Weird.
Yeah. But and her father, so our grandfather's mother is a complete 100% Native American, and our grandfather was actually born on a reservation,
on a cabin floor.
Cabin floor, and she had lots of kids and he had lots of siblings. And so I think, like you said, I think things went more towards like the sustainability aspect, right? Because they had to.
You know what's funny though is like literally until like Adam emailed us and asked us that question, I never thought about it.
Me either.
I was just like,
know.
I was like, no, we weren't like homesteading when we were younger. And then I was thinking on it. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess it was kind of always like in our blood. Like,
we just never really realized.
And the word like homesteading, like it was never.
That was not a thing back then, though. Yeah.
And so I don't know.
There wasn't a label, I suppose. So of course things don't carry down, right? Like, oh yeah, your grandma was a homesteader, because like there wasn't that label had not quite caught on yet. But
like our great grandmother would send like my mom and all of her siblings out like into fields to pick vegetables and fruits and different things all the time, and they would go and get what they could where they could, again because they didn't have a lot of money, and they would can the shit out of stuff. And so like my great grandma's like canned okra, like what are you talking about?
Oh my gosh,
like,
we have to do it. Mom has the recipe.
Does she?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah,
right
she
now.
has the recipe.
I was wondering if she had the recipe because I am growing okra for the first time this year, and I know it's not like, I know it grows better like in like the South and stuff. Like it likes like the hotter.
Yeah, humid.
Yeah, so I don't know how well it's going to do up here, but I'm really hoping it does well because I just want enough of it to can.
Honestly, we should just go buy okra at the store and just use your recipe to can it.
If it doesn't work out.
Pickled okra, I don't know if you've never had that, but you should definitely try it.
Oh, pickled okra is so good.
It's the best.
And it's, and it's the best. Yeah. But they would do a bunch of.
Don't eat too much.
It's not good for anybody. But yeah, so
so that's a really good point, though. It always has kind of been there in our bloodline for quite a while,
and
right?
different things of it, like canning, gardening, just using what you have and not, trying to like, because either the lack of money or, you had to, or
right.
you want to.
Like, Dad's grandma, she lived on that huge farm in Texas.
That is true.
And that was his grandma, and he has lots of great stories about her. But she was like a farmer.
She was like a cattle farmer.
I get up at dark 30 to go tend my cattle. And
she was like your typical Texan, like super. We never got the chance to meet her, but my dad always tells great stories about her. She was very kind too. Actually, it was on Dad's side. I believe it was either his grandma or one of his aunts. She was the one that would always pick up, like, be like, don't kill the spiders in the house. Like, you put them on some of the house plants. I don't like the flies.
Oh, right.
And so that's where Dad got that from.
Right.
And
then that passed down to us.
And that passed down to us.
Also do not kill insects.
I don't kill anything, but when I see a spider, like, I'm appalled when people, like, just step on a spider just because it was, like, a spider. I'm just like, what's wrong with you? Like,
it has its job. I mean, what are you doing? Why are you interfering? Like leave it alone.
Just
put it outside.
Put it outside. Yeah. It's going to be okay. Oh my God. So this has nothing to do with any of that, but Honest was walking out to the barn the other night, and he's like, when he was walking out of the back door, and it's kind of like we have like this big bay. It's not a tree, it's more like a bush because it's just overtaking everything. But he kind of walked by that, and he's like, I felt like a really thick spider web, like all on him, And so, and then he like looked down because he saw something out of the corner of his eye, and there was a huge black widow like on his shoulder.
Gosh.
And so he was like,
the heebie-jeebie dance for about 10 minutes.
He was like silently screaming, like, but he like couldn't like do anything. And so he's like, I like lifted up that part of his shirt and then like took off his shirt because I don't know how he did it, but I was like, why don't you just like carefully move him off, like even black widows.
Okay, so when I have a spider on me, I really try hard not to kill any spiders. I don't like that, and they have a job to do. If we didn't have spiders, we'd be overrun by disgusting insects, by the way. So no thanks. So anyways, but if I have a spider on me, I am flinging that thing off me so fast. You have no idea.
It's shocking.
It's like I can't even help
instinct.
It's an instinct. I'm flicking I'm like a monkey flicking like I'm running away from a snake or something.
I used to be really bad when I was little with that, but like when you'd see a random spider on you or something and you'd be like, ah, but now it's just like it doesn't bother me. When I see one, I'm like, okay, like it's fine. It's just a spider.
When it was years ago because your daughter is 9 now, but when Shauna's daughter we were by the pool
Oh, she was little. Okay, hold on.
She's a baby.
She's a baby.
She's like I'm like maybe a year, a little bit,
no,
year
no, no.
and a half.
She was younger than that. She was probably 6 months old.
No way.
Yes.
No, because she was doing things. She was about a year.
No, because I was holding her when her feet were like kind of like
Yeah, I
kicking on
remember.
the side.
She was like right there.
I don't think she was a year.
She was definitely a year.
Anyways,
nuance. So anyways, we both talking and I'm in the pool with other kids and Shauna's like sitting on the edge of the pool with River who's like, and she's holding her, you know, and like all of a sudden I'm like, what is in her mouth? And there's like spider legs.
She had picked up
spider legs
a spider like out of the pool, like, you know.
Oh my
hopefully it was
God.
Already dead because like.
Well, now it was.
And then she was like eating
baby
it.
Saliva.
Like
she just was like, okay, that's going. In
I
my
like
mouth. You know how babies are like that's
orally fixated, but like. Oh my God, but like, talk about the heebie-jeebie dance. Like, I couldn't, even now telling the story, like, I was like, ah! I'm like getting it out of her mouth. Like, I don't mind spiders, but like, I don't think you should eat them. Yeah,
there's like
and the leg, and it was huge, and like, you know, that really bulbousy body, like spider.
Oh God.
It was gross.
It was hysterical.
Really gross.
It was
and it was like in my baby's mouth.
Yeah. Just
in my baby's mouth.
Just like in her mouth. Just like
I was like, okay. When I tell her that story now, she just like laughs and stuff, and she's like not grossed out about it at all. And it's like, I still get grossed out. I'm like, ugh, like for
Shake
you.
It off. Shake it off.
But yeah, so
anyways, we went on a tangent about spiders. Oh, we were talking about Dad's grandma being a actual farmer.
she was like a legit farmer. So
there has been,
and even his, like, so our grandparents on that side, his parents, you know, they went through like the Great Depression, and again, like not having anything, they always had
to just freaking
like
figure
use
shit
what
out.
they had,
right.
And so you know they passed that down to their kids. So I don't know. I just think we got it on both sides from multiple different people. But again, we did grow up until the age, you know, of like 10 or 11. We grew up in like a suburban type area.
I mean, we had a fuck ton of animals, you know what I mean? Like even in suburbia, we had horses that we would board. We had a pig, we had dogs and cats and birds.
We weren't your average suburban family.
You know, people
not
would walk in and
average,
like, what the fuck? Like,
we're not your average
so
anything
animals?
family.
Yeah, no, never have been, never will be.
It's just who we are. So, but yeah, we did like horseback riding lessons and stuff.
Oh yeah,
like that.
and
like,
we were all about animals because Mom and Dad were so much about them, and so now, of course, that, you know, it's a little bit contagious.
Totally. So when we moved up on the property,
we're like, we have space for more animals.
More animals. And like we had, you know, it was 10 acres. And it was kind of cool because shortly after we moved on the property, my grandparents on my mom's side, who used to live like a couple hours away from us, they decided to move up on the property.
Yeah, our mom's parents.
Too, into like they moved like a trailer up there and they moved onto the property. And it was just cool because like anytime, like I know it's hard to like live with family, but anytime you can live with family, I just think it's cool because you get like more out of it.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. It's how it's always meant to be.
Yeah. So you just kind of like help each other out.
It takes a village, you know, to do all sorts of things.
All sorts of things. And my grandma was also a very good gardener.
Yes. And Aunt Aileen.
Yeah.
We had an aunt. So not only my mom's parents were there, but my mom's great aunt, my mom's sister.
It was our mom's aunt.
Yes.
So it's our great aunt. She also lived there. We were also very close with her.
Yes. And she was also a great gardener.
Yeah. And
loved
so
plants, loved birds.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. So it's kind of cool when you do have the space to have other family members. Like I said, I know it can get tricky, but it was always easy. I felt like it was really natural with them because we were always really respectful of everybody's like space, but we still like, we'd have lunch on the patios together.
Oh yeah. Just like great memories.
Yeah.
like
fantastic memories growing up and being really close with them that we, you know, we were always close with them, but we really got to gain like the bond that we wouldn't have had otherwise. And
if they hadn't moved up there to begin with.
Yeah, it was just amazing. So
yeah,
and even
amazing.
them being able to see our grandkids, they all have since passed away. But, you know, we still have all those great memories. And now it's like we kind of want to pass that down to like our kids. And like
exactly.
we want to keep the closeness between our families. And we do, like we, you know, even tonight after podcasting, we're going over to my mom's house.
back to our house to have a family, you know, movie and game night. And my parents have all these games and so
we are a very
good
close
times.
family.
Yeah, very, very close.
And we always have been. But so when we moved up on the property, getting back to all that, we started getting.
I think we We started with the
Goats.
no. Okay, so so funny. We brought ducks. I had fucking ducks in Eldorado Hills.
Yeah, we brought dogs with us. We have a problem.
And
I was like, no, we weren't homesteaders. We're like, we had all these
yeah,
animals.
fuck yes, we were.
Yeah, we
And
were.
we were living in this big suburban house, and we
Besides animals, though, we weren't like,
well, we
weren't
didn't have
canning
land. We weren't
or
canning,
like,
no, but we just had.
we didn't even have a
ridiculous amount of
garden
animals.
when we lived.
But I literally brought, like, my friends gifted me for like my 12th birthday or something. They gifted me a little boy and a little girl duck, and I was like, okay.
Oh, we
these are
talked about
mine.
them, little boy. Remember, we talked
Little
about
boy and
all
little
of
girl.
his issues
All
last
of his
time.
little issues, his little man issues. And so we brought these ducks with us. We had these ducks already, and then we quickly got. Did we get chickens? Because I remember there being chickens with the ducks pretty quickly there.
I think we got the goats first, and then it doesn't matter. But so we didn't waste a lot of time.
No,
getting animals.
We are filling up this property with animals.
And we had somebody come and help us like build things. Because my dad, as an amazing like gardener and stuff, and he's great with animals. He is not a.
Our dad always says, I went to law school for a reason.
Yes.
And it's not to get my hands dirty.
He doesn't he's not like, I'm going to go out and build a barn, you know? Like,
he's like a super intelligent guy, but he and he'll look at something that has been built by someone else and be like, wow, it's great craftsmanship. But he does not want to do that. Like, this is never happening.
No
and if
desire.
he does have to do it with my husband for some reason, there's a lot of bitching, there's a lot of squabbling. And then he does it. He's very proud of himself. And he talks about it for the next 10 years about, look at that door I built. But
yeah,
like,
there's literally a door that he just built a door. He's so
on our hay
fucking
barn.
proud of it.
so
So proud of it.
Oh,
Which, like,
gosh.
I get it.
I mean, it's good to be proud of
it's a
yourself.
door, yeah.
It's
It works. It works
Hinges,
well. It
you know?
opens
It's-
and closes still. So he did a good job.
no problems there.
But
Yes, we had
What
we
was-
had someone coming and helping us
Yeah.
build a bunch of
because
stuff.
this was obviously, we were young. We didn't have like husbands to do it for
Right.
us.
Husband
and
do
then,
list.
like we said, my dad wasn't into it. And then my grandfather, who also lived on the property, he was not like,
No, Grandpa just wanted to buy all the dogs and all,
Yeah.
or not buy,
again,
but rescue.
super into.
He wanted to just have lots of animals and feed everything.
Yeah, super
And-
into animals, but not into like knowing how
Doesn't
to
want to-
build.
yeah.
So we had somebody like building barns and our well house and stuff like that
Yeah,
for us,
and our hay barn,
which was super cool.
and, yeah, I'm like, thank you.
And even the garden area and stuff like that all got put up pretty quickly.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
And so then we kind of were not realizing we were homesteading at that point. And then we got even more into it as we got into like FFA in high school and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, FFA was a pretty big, like, because we had to get more goats.
Well,
you
we
know what
also,
I mean?
and then we took, Sherry and I both took, what was that stupid class called?
It's an ROP
Nobody knows that. Regional Occupational Program.
program through high school, and so we took an animal health course.
Oh, that's what
and
it's called. Animal health. That's
and
where we
that
learned how to
was-
give
yeah.
shots.
Yeah, it was quite
Like thinking at the time we were going to go into something like a veterinarian or
yeah.
a vet assistant or something like
Yes.
that. We were thinking of that route, not realizing that it's going to help
It
us
would help
so
us
much later on.
later on in life, just with our own animals on our own homesteads.
Because
And-
it really taught us how to not just give shots, but how to, help hurt animals.
yeah, just
like
vet animals in general,
Yeah,
and what
and,
to look for, how to recognize, a sick or injury animal or whatever the heck. And it was, it was a really awesome course. I took it 2 years in a row.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool. And we met one of our longtime friends there too.
Yes, Casey. That's
So,
right.
so yeah, it was kind of weird how that all came about and not really realizing it. So I
Yeah.
think if you are getting into homesteading or thinking about it, I think like the main thing would just be to start, and we've said this before, but start smaller than you think. Like start learning little things that you can if you're not on your property yet. If you're planning to buy property and you're like, okay, like, start learning how to give shots. We should do a video on that. I keep thinking of that. We need to get some like chicken breast
Yeah.
and stab the thing.
Well, you're talking about that's an intramuscular.
Yeah, but that's
Usually
like the
it's-
hardest one.
That is the hardest one. I do not do those shots.
I know I'll
very
do
rarely
I'll
will
do
I
them,
those.
but like I don't like to do them.
yeah, sub Q all the way. Okay?
Sub Q is way easier.
Pull up the skin, give the shot. Look done.
We'll do a video on how to give a shot, because if you don't like knowing how to do that yourself for
It'll-
all of your
well,
animals
it
will
saves
save you money.
It saves you tons of money. I
And
mean,
you can give it like your dogs, like when your dogs need like
yeah, anything really.
Yeah.
Literally anything besides their rabies. So the vet is the only one, or like a clinic is the only one that can give a rabies. Like you couldn't give a rabies. You can't access the rabies vaccine. But any other vaccine, like if you have a brand new puppy, like those 9-in-1, whatever the heck you give them, you can do that. And if you know how to give a
kitten
shot,
shots.
exactly,
Yeah.
like literally everything. So
you can just pick up the
it's
shots
very good
from your
knowledge to have.
feed store and be able to do it.
Saves
Yeah.
you tons of money.
Tons of money. So what else was I gonna say about that? I got off on my brain is blinking now. Just one big white screen.
I think one big white screen. Reload, buffering.
It is buffering.
We got the goats, we got the chickens, we had the ducks, got the goats, and then slowly because of FFA, we did 4-H.
We had horses.
And we got horses. That was another one of our grandfather's ideas. My dad was thrilled.
We had
Do you
horses and a
remember?
pony because we are a little bit spoiled.
Just a little bit. I remember this. So this for our horses we found, or my mom, I don't know who found the place that they were basically they needed to get rid of all their horses, and they have just like tons, right? And so we go up there, and I remember my dad looking at Grandpa and being like, "We're not buying anything. We're just looking." And Grandpa being like, "Mm-hmm,
Got it. Check.
And then we get there. He's like, "Okay, girls, go pick. What's your favorite one? Sherry, what's your favorite one? Okay, Shauna, what's your favorite?" And we got to take that one. She's adorable. we went on with 3 horses. My dad was like, "I fucking hate you." I mean, they had a great relationship. My dad loved him, but like he was so stubborn. And he's like, "Oh, fuck, I am coming home with some horses."
That's where we get it from, though.
Home with some horses.
Not just one, not just two.
Not two, but 3.
Well, the third one was a pony.
She was a very fat, big pony. You say pony, but she was like a huge pony. She might as well have been a horse.
She was a big pony, and she was a huge bitch.
Huge bitch. Remember, she kicked Dad all the way across.
Well, Dad never liked her,
and she didn't like him. She's like, "You don't like me."
I would like get up on her just to show my friends how she would buck me off.
We're like, "Watch this." This one's a real
One time
bitch.
I landed on my feet, and I was super proud of myself because I thought it looked really cool.
She says one time.
I'm like a ninja. Kids are smart. We do smart things.
Oh gosh, kids are so dumb.
But yeah, so I was talking about if you're starting your own homestead, starting small, and then if you're not on your property, not only can you do things like learn how to give shots and stuff like that into, chicken breast. Obviously, it's just a chicken breast. It's not
a
like
dead chicken. That's
not a
in the
chicken.
fridge. Yeah, we're not talking about like don't go grab a chicken out of the chicken. Don't be like, "Hey, I'm working on you today."
Yeah,
You're my guinea pig poking you with all these needles.
But even doing things that you can, learning how to bake bread, learning how to make a lot of things from scratch. Because a lot of times, and I still do this, like to this day, I'll like have a mental block about something where I'm like, no, I can't do that or make that. It's going to be hard. And then like you do it and you're like, oh, it's not that hard.
Yeah, it's not that hard. No, it never is. Especially like, I remember I was super, I didn't want to make bread. I was very like, oh my God, I can't do that, years ago. And
bread is delicious.
And then when I did it, I was like, that's weird how easy that was. What the fuck is happening?
I would say,
why doesn't everyone do this?
If you have a hang up on making bread, I would go look for like a bread machine at a thrift store and get a bread machine and start making it just in the bread machine. Because that's just like you dump all the stuff in just in a specific order.
For
and
you.
it does it all for you.
And you can definitely find bread machines. I found 2 or 3 at thrift stores. They always work. And
they always end up
really
breaking after a little bit.
Yeah, they'll break after. I mean, I don't know. My one broke, and my other 2 have lasted me several years now. I mean, they're great.
My other one just broke. So I make like our everyday bread. I like making it in the bread machine. Mine's broken right now, so I haven't been doing that. And because the kids can do it too.
Yeah,
because the kids can go in there and they have the recipe card, and so and then they take out the measurements. They know, and I wrote it on the recipe card of how it should go in.
How it goes in, yes.
Because that's important too, because salt kills yeast. You guys know that. Okay. And so I wrote it down how it should go in, and so they can just put it in and start it, and then they're super proud of themselves because they made bread that day.
Oh, right.
Like every time they make it.
Well, and so the reason I like the bread machine is because when life gets super crazy busy, which it always seems to be for me, I can still know I can make like homemade bread, and I don't have to sit there and worry about the first rise, second rise, I don't need it, and just like as much as I do enjoy that process, if we're having a slow day, we very rarely have slow days, And it takes a lot of forethought on my part to be like, okay, I'm going to make bread in 2 days. I need to get prepared. With a bread machine, you just toss everything in and it freaking is done. And I can make so many loaves in a matter of, it takes like what, 2.5 hours in the bread machine, and then it's freaking done. And you can make another one right away if you want to. And so that's what I love about the bread machine. I highly suggest.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you're new to it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't even worry about it. You still made it.
But I love making, like, I don't know, like it's like my Zen garden, like kneading the dough and stuff.
No, I love it. I love it so much, but
like it's like my happy place. So I try to do it, like, and I obviously, don't make it every day because that's a lot of bread. I would like to make all different kinds of bread every day, but I do try to make it like a couple times a week just because I really love just the process. Of making bread.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just relaxing.
I love all the process of any kind of baking though. That's why we are often baking things.
I have to make fucking 3 pound cakes for Ronan's birthday tomorrow, and I haven't started.
Oh, it's a very bad job.
When
are you planning on doing that? Because you're going to my house after this.
Tonight, when I get home.
You're going to be at our house for dinner.
I know.
Okay. She's like, tonight at midnight.
I can't go to bed until like 1 in the morning anyways because of Gus. He gets up around that time, so I might as well just not go to bed yet. And so,
there you go.
And so I'm just going to make the pound cakes.
Yeah.
Pound cake, this is off topic, but it freezes super well. If you have a shit ton of eggs and you're like, I don't know what to do with them. I don't want
to have to have a shit ton of sugar.
Well, it's a pound of sugar and a pound of butter. Anytime there's that recipe,
and butter.
I'm here for it. I'm like, yeah.
Sign me up.
I'm like, yes, I would like all of it.
2 pounds of what? Yes, I'll be there.
Like, what? Sugar and butter together is amazing. You take a pound of each of that? Like, please.
But yeah.
It takes like a crazy amount of eggs.
But it does freeze very, very well.
I have like, I don't know if it's like a fly or a hair, but it's like bugging the shit out of me.
No, I'm sorry.
What was I saying?
Pound cake. How it freeze.
You want some? So if you have,
you're like, yes, please.
So we found the other day, like 100 eggs. 100 eggs in our goat barn.
So did you already go through them all?
I went through them all, and so about a little less than half were bad. So you can't like water glass eggs to save them if you float them, which I had to float them to see which ones were bad. Like after I candled them, I had to float them. I couldn't just be like, oh, they're probably good because like it's 100 eggs. They've been sitting there for obviously a very long time.
Yeah.
So I had to float them, which means now I have to use them, at least the good ones, rather quickly. So I'm making pound cakes, 3 of them, because so it's like if you do have a lot of eggs and you did have to float your eggs for whatever reason, you can always make a pound cake or make a few pound cakes and stick them in your freezer if you don't need to eat 3 pound cakes right away.
Who doesn't?
And then it freezes
some strawberries
well.
And whipped cream. Like, what are you talking about?
Like I said, we have a big family, so like I was just going to make 2, and I was like, I should make a 3rd one because we'll probably go through it because it's like 12 slices
Aiden
each.
is going to eat one all on his own.
Yeah, so. Well, like Ronan really likes pound cake too, and so I was like, I'm making 3. If I make 2, it's going to go by, there's like 20-something people coming tomorrow, so.
Yeah.
That's just our family. It's like not even friends.
Sad but true.
I know. I always feel bad because when the kids have birthdays, I'm like, you can invite 1 or 2 friends because
and they're like, why? Because our family's too big. Deal with it, okay?
We just have such a big family that it's just too hard to have. Like, we can't have 8 kids at a party.
Yeah, it would be a ridiculous amount of money. I mean, because just our kids is already a ridiculous amount of money, and you're like, you get 1 friend. Choose 1.
I let them have 2 sometimes. Depending on what we're doing. But it's just crazy. But
Mom's feeling extra nice today. I get 2 friends.
Anyways, so getting back to if you're just starting on your homesteading journey or whatever and learning about all this stuff, like you can always have, a lot of places allow you to have like backyard chickens.
Yeah, even in certain suburbs, probably nothing with like HOAs or anything like that. But
HOAs suck if you live in one.
I imagine you're not trying to homestead if you live in an HOA, because if you are, I feel very sorry for you. We have an HOA very, very close to us. It's basically like we're like the border, and then it's like the HOA.
They're on the wrong side of the tracks. But it's so weird that
our house is like just whatever, I think it's gorgeous and beautiful, but then the HOAs are just so just
over the
picky
top,
and
like
over the top specific.
Most of them are from like
fencing
the city, and they moved up here, and they have this like glamorous idea of what it is to be.
I don't know why the HOAs weren't in existence when we moved up there. We've been there,
and
for
all
over
the properties
25 years.
are 10 acres. It's not like it's like houses. It's not a suburban area. It's like
So I
10
don't
acre
know
plots.
Whose idea it was?
I
like,
think we bitched
let's
about this
form
before.
an HOA. That's like
Dumb.
so fucking
Dumb.
weird to me. But anyways, but most suburban housing, it will allow you to have at least a couple chickens, not roosters usually, but it will allow you to have a couple chickens, because chickens, I mean, they're not loud. I mean, they're just, well, the hens we have, Lorenzo talking to me about, the Karachi hatch that we have, and they make that really weird. The hens make that bok 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 bok.
They all do that.
What? No. The Orpingtons, no. They're like silent compared to these
especially when
hens.
they're laying, they do their little egg song when they lay their eggs.
It's not the egg song. It's not like I'm sitting on an egg laying an egg. You can make songs. I'm sure that hurts. I'm talking about they just walk around doing this noise, and they just bak 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 bak, and it's just like shut up. Like they'll come into the trailer when I'm milking, and it's so small in there.
Yeah.
And they're like they're making this noise. It echoes. Dumb fucking fly.
I know, it's so annoying.
Anyways, so normal hens are not loud though. So that's why they allow them in most suburbs. And you can have like I think it's dependent upon the size of your lot.
I think it depends on like your county that you're in.
How many you can
have, yeah. But if you can start with like, obviously not one, you should never have one of basically any animal. Everybody likes a buddy. So,
true story.
So if you start with a couple chickens, it's just really helpful into getting used to how to care for them, like what you need. And then it just, you get a few eggs, and it just kind of starts you off slower to where you're not feeling like overwhelmed when you do get to your property and you want like, 12 or what's a normal amount of chickens for people to have? I don't know.
What's the normal amount? I don't have that answer for you. I don't have a normal amount.
What's a normal amount? Somebody tell me. Is it 12? 12 sounds like a good number.
Yeah, maybe 10.
10 to 12?
I think 10.
Yeah, I think that's
We're all like, yeah, right? Yeah. I think that's normal.
So, if you have more than 50.
That's not normal. You're in our club.
You're in our club. Please join us. I got up this morning early again for my old dog, Gus. It was like 5 a.m. I go to bed at 1. I get up at 5. It's super fun. I'm having a great time. I'm not tired at all.
Running off fumes.
Fine.
It's been great.
But I got up at 5 and I was outside, like on the porch, and like I was like, the rooster noise like echoing through, like just from our property. I was like, I hope everybody around here in our vicinity of where we live sleeps with earplugs because.
Well, and they crow at like every hour of the night. It's like the weirdest thing. You think they wouldn't do that because like, aren't you attracting predators? It's weird.
It doesn't bother. Like I'm completely like the rooster noise does. I can sleep through that. I don't know how because I'm a very light sleeper, but just because I have to.
Not. No, you're not a light sleeper if you can sleep through a fucking rooster noise.
I can. Well, we have like a thing going in our room, like our humidifier.
So quiet.
And like
so quiet still. I have a fan.
Sherry has to sleep in like a wind tunnel to like not hear anything.
If there is a rooster, I did have a guy right below my window.
Guy?
Okay. And he's like, "Why are you below my window? You have 10 acres, dude. Go someplace else." And
he's trying to wake you up on time.
Right below my bedroom window. Or they'll stand on the porch, and I keep the front windows open for the cats to come in and out so that they don't piss in my house. And he'll stand on the porch, and it's like echoing through my fucking house. And of course, the dogs get up, and they're like, because they know, like, Mom hates you. I'm coming to get you.
She's going to let me kill you. No, Sherry won't do that.
Oh, yes, I do. I'm like, Cookie, you will get that rooster. God damn it. It makes me so mad. So I go out there, and I must look like a crazy person. I pick up anything that is in my reach when I'm walking to the door or out of the door towards the rooster, and I huck it at him. And then I chase him around the property
look until like a crazy person a lot of the time.
Until he goes like up, like further, like past our fence we have. Anyways, nope, not allowed. And then he doesn't bother me for days. And then all of a sudden he's back again. I'm like, you have a memory problem. Like, you know what's going to happen. I'm going to be throwing things at you.
But yeah, if you are even a homesteader now, and like it's better to start slow and just kind of add things and not like I guess we kind of like jumped in.
You're
with
like,
both
it's
feet.
better to do what we didn't do.
But like we had so many people, like it wasn't just like a family of 4.
Yeah, and I think that is a huge. That's a
s-
great point, because like the more people you have, obviously the lighter the workload is for everybody.
Yeah, like
And
we
so,
had people that were, like we said, like my grandma and my aunt, like kind of were they did the gardening.
I mean, they would
and
even
then,
go in and brush the horses. Like,
Yeah,
they were
it was
all
like,
about it,
and they were, not working and stuff like that. So somebody that's able to do that, where Sherry and I did a lot of stuff like before and after school around the property, and like everybody like had, and we were able to have somebody there like building things for us. So it was just kind of like the perfect storm, if you will.
Yeah, yeah, and it was really the only reason we were able to, like Shauna said, like jump in with both feet and get, we got goats, and then we had the, the chickens, the ducks, and then we got the horses right away, and so it got pretty. And we had this big, huge garden. But, but there were just so many people to spread the workload out over all of us. So it worked well. So keep that in mind. Like, if it's just you and your spouse, and you have, you have young kids that really can't help.
It totally matters on how like your kids are.
Yeah, that is huge. And I would say
like
definitely,
if they're below the age of 7, I feel like it's just going to be rough.
It's gonna,
if you're just getting into it.
Yeah.
Unless you've like been doing it and you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Definitely. But gaining knowledge like that, and because you have to learn how to homestead, it's a matter of doing, right? You have to do it to learn it. And so trying to do it while your children like are so needy at those ages, is kind of difficult, unless like you have someone there with you, they can like tend to the kids while you go do your shit outside. But
and knowing somebody that already is in that, we've said this before, but make friends that already know, like that have property, that are homesteaders. Don't just like read it in books. I know like books are awesome and they can be great, but when shit's going down and like your book isn't going to help you, like you're going to need somebody to be like, okay, like the first time your goat is having a baby and you can't get that baby out and you don't know what to do, and like the vet can't get to you for forever, like you're going to want that friend that lives down the street to come and help you. So things like that, where it's just like good to know people, because like even now, like when shit happens like that, like your adrenaline starts a moving.
Right, and it's
and we've been doing it for years, and we know what we're doing it, but it still can be scary, especially when it's like life or death over an animal, and you're just like either somebody's fucking stuck and dying, or and there's been so many different things, like I'm not even be able to remember all the stories and everything that's happened living on a homestead, like the shit that happens, the weird shit that happens, like the tree falling and like literally skewering an alpaca. Like, when does that happen?
And he unfortunately cannot be saved, but it just, the homesteading,
goats being like caught,
a lot of it is going to be you just learning as you go,
and
learning
and
through all
those surprises happening, and you just being like, okay, we got to deal with this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and if you can't, like, if you're not good with like blood and just getting in there and figuring shit out, then it's just probably not for you, unfortunately.
Well, maybe not the animal part, I would stick to like in
gardening.
And that's a good point too. Like, you have to know yourself, and like, I mean, you hopefully would know yourself, like, okay, am I going to be that, like that person who's going to be able to deal with this goat giving birth, or this, this huge laceration, or this open wound that's all pus filled, like those kind of things, because that's really real, And
so, you have a predator grab a chicken, and you like have to take care of it.
Things get really nasty sometimes, and you have to learn. Unless you have a ton of funds, you're not always going to be able to call the vet. So it's going to be up to you,
or have time to call the vet.
Yeah, or have time. Right, exactly. I mean, because most of the time, the vet, since they're mobile, they have to drive to you, and they're already on another call. Like, I know our mobile vet. I mean, the guy works 7 days a week.
Yeah, poor thing.
He says he has off Sunday, but I don't think he does, because he's always getting called out to emergencies. And whenever we need him, he'll come for like a routine, like, okay, I'm scheduling you to come to your farm in 2 weeks from now. And even then, sorry, I have an emergency. I'm going to get back to you on when I can be there for that routine thing. And so and then how expensive they are. I mean, just to come to the farm, he charges $95.
It's expensive.
Insane.
Life's expensive. Homesteading is an expensive hobby.
Well, if you do it yourself, you don't have to call them.
But no, Sherry made a good point. If you're not into like the animal side of it, you don't have to be. You can still be a homesteader and not have animals.
Well, because there's so much that goes into gardening. It's not just gardening. I mean, you're talking about canning. You're talking about preserving food. I mean, that's a huge part of being a homesteader, is being sustainable, correct? Mm-hmm. So it's like, the gardening portion of it, and then whatever. there's plenty of other homesteady things.
There is.
Yeah.
Like making a lot of your own things.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether it's, medicinal stuff, wild crafting.
Right, exactly. Foraging and shit.
Super fucking fun, too.
Yeah. It is fun.
But yeah, so I think that was pretty much our history, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of, it's so funny when we were talking about it. Like, I was like, maybe we were more like just that. We always leaned that way
towards it, like that mindset.
And then not really realizing it. Even when I was itty bitty and when I was little and we lived in like a suburban area, like I was like, we should have land and horses. And I don't know what little kid thinks about that at like 5, but I always was like, wanting that as a child and always asking, our parents, like, I want to move on to land. I want to have horses. I want to have animals. And they're always like, what? No, that's weird. Nobody does that.
Well, we already had the animals. They're just like, but no, we're good here. But then we did. And it was awesome. And then it started us on that, huge adventure we've been on ever since.
Mm-hmm.
And now have given that to our children who will all most likely also live on land because all of my kids have been raised where we live and they couldn't even dream of living in I have like a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old and they're, my 19-year-old has a pretty steady girlfriend. She lives with us actually, or him. And they both still live on the property. And, they're already talking about, we're going to buy land. We're going to build a house or maybe move like a bigger modular on or whatever.
Build a tiny house. Tiny houses are so cute.
Well, I think Abby wants a bigger house. But I do agree. Tiny houses are cute. But I do, because they want like 4 kids. So, gotta have space, unfortunately.
That is true.
Yeah.
It's hard to live in small places with lots of kids.
Yes.
Unless you're super organized, which, yeah.
No, even if you're super organized, no, it's hard.
Especially if it's like raining. Like, what do? You just cry?
No, like house? I can't imagine having anything smaller than what we have. But we had 5. I mean, we had a family of 7.
But that's not a tiny house. You guys
No,
I know it's small
it's
14, for 7 people,
50 square feet. So it's definitely tight. But my kids always like to be on top of me, anyways. You know what I mean? It's like your kids just want to be near you.
That's
like,
true.
Even my teenagers, they like gravitate towards the couch with me. You know what I mean? It's just like
that's true.
So it doesn't really
I love
matter
how
that much, but.
Whenever we start like gardening season, like really start like where we're like putting plants in the ground and stuff, the kids are always out helping. I always like to, because it's just who I am as a person, but I always try to time it where the full moon is in the beginning of, or the end of April, the beginning of May, to where I could plant during like the full moon, because it's nice out. You don't have to worry about like the sun beating down on you. So it's always like we're out there in the evening and the kids always are like, I love being farmers. Like, it's like those moments where they're like, oh, God, this is awesome. I'm like, it is. I'm like, we're vibing. Like, I love being farmers too.
I just love having this space. And I love being able to have whatever animals we want. And there's not like, there's no rules. I love not having rules.
I mean, there are rules.
No, there's not. No, I can have whatever the fuck I want to have.
Yeah.
As long as we have the funds, Water buffalo it is.
Yeah. But anyways, if you guys have any other questions about who we are or where we came from.
And if you want to hear anything else specific, please let us know. Like we said, that this whole episode was based off of one of our listeners, Adam. Hi, Adam. And he emailed us, and we love personal emails. It's like the email we got from Adam just last night, or I saw it last night. I think it's been a couple of days.
We're actually gonna do an episode on mites today,
which sounds awful compared to what we just did. Not awful, but very boring. Not that you don't need to know that. And we will do an episode soon, but good knowledge to have. But
I was just like reading his email. I was totally cracking up because, like I said, he's like funny, and then and he mentioned when we were talking about me trying to handle a chainsaw, and he was like telling us to put a lock on it or to teach Sean how to use a chainsaw. I was like cracking up. I was just
like lock it is.
I'm going to prove all you guys wrong. I think I'm going to like cut my hand off and I'm going to use it. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to get a video. I
like Victoria. I'm forgetting her last name, but she's She comments often on our YouTube channel. And very great. Hi, Victoria. You're
Hello.
awesome.
Yes,
Love
you are awesome.
But she was suggesting that you get some little something or other that she uses.
I used to have one though, like a little.
See, I thought you did.
I used to have. It's like a. I don't know what they're called. I'm sorry, but it's like an electrical little thingy, and it's like and you turn on, zzz, and.
So many noises. People that aren't listening, aren't watching, are like, "What the fuck is she talking about?" It's like a tiny handsaw, and it's
very easy to use. I used to have one for different things, but it broke.
Well, you should get a new one because that's that. I agree with Victoria. I see you.
I agree.
Okay, like it's a great.
Thank you, Victoria. Request. You've saved my fingers.
Yeah, exactly. Great recommendation. But if you guys have anything you want to know, or if you want to request any specific episode topics, I mean, email us. You can get in touch with us through YouTube comments, through Facebook, through Instagram, and we absolutely love hearing from you guys. And I know we say that every time, but I can't stress it enough. Like, it really is like the highlight of our day.
But it's uplifting too.
It's so uplifting, and we absolutely appreciate all of you guys and our
thank
listeners.
You guys for listening.
And so send us all the comments.
All the comments.
We will, definitely get back to you, and we just love hearing your ideas and stuff.
Yeah. But other than that, it is we forgot to mention. So our next episode will be is it our 52nd?
Yeah, and it marks a year in this whole podcasting thing.
In our head, it marks a year because
it's 52 fucking weeks. What do you mean?
Because we did extra podcasts. We had like those extra ones that came out in between, not podcasts, but episodes. We had extra episodes.
Yes.
So,
those were never. They're not numbered. Those are just extra.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely 52.
Okay. I was like, I don't know. Is it? I don't know. Anyways, so it will be our year episode.
Like anniversary type of thing. And so we thought it would be really fun to do a giveaway. We've never done a giveaway, so we thought it'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And
so if you want to, we are giving away some nettle tea. It's dried nettle tea. And we're trying to come up with some other fun things that we can do to go along with that. We were hoping to get like shirts made and stuff like that, but we can't decide on a logo.
That might be kind of fun. Maybe we could come up with different logos and then make a poll and everyone can.
Yeah, we should do that.
That'd be super.
That'll be something else though.
Yeah,
okay? Stay on track here. So
stay on track. We're talking about the
giveaway is all going to be through Instagram. So if you're not on Instagram, like get on it and like and follow our page.
No, we can do it through Facebook too. We can do the same.
We are doing it through Facebook. Yeah, so Facebook or Instagram. And then you just basically have to.
So whatever post that
we're gonna do a giveaway post.
It'll be a giveaway post. You'll then like that post, like our page, and then share that post, and then you'll be entered in the giveaway. If you do the same thing on Facebook, so you can do it twice on the 2 different social media platforms, you'll be in the entry twice. So that's how that works. And
then we're going to put all of your guys' names in a hat. And we're going to pick one on the next episode.
We're super technical like that. I'm like, it's going in a fucking hat. Yes, we're writing all your names down.
Yeah.
This is how it's happening.
Yeah, that's the easiest way.
Your husband would be shaking his head right now. Actually, he'd be like...
It's fine. He's not here. And then we'll pick a winner on... We're going to do it on our episode, right? The next one?
Yeah. I thought it'd be fun to do it on the episode so you guys could, be a part of it. And I don't know, are we just going to do one?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
it might be more than one.
We need to figure out what we come up with because we know we wanted to give away like the nettle tea because it's like allergy season and stuff like that. But we are not sure what else like that would travel well depending on where people live and stuff like that. Because we were like nettle tinctures and like, it's getting harder with like, because a lot of people don't live like next door to us.
Yes, exactly. Or in the United States.
Yeah, or in the United States. So anyways, so lots of things to think about.
Yes.
But anyways, thank you guys all so much for stopping by and for listening.
Yes.
And hopefully we will talk to you all next time.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Bye.